Hello, hello, hello. Just waiting for a few minutes, getting a few things set up here, and then we'll begin very shortly. All right, that was a pretty smooth transition. Let me check to see that the music's still working. Wait for the next track. Yeah, it looks like it's still functioning. There we go. All right. All right. Hello and welcome to this just a test live stream, just to make sure that everything's working. Testing out the setup here. One thing that isn't working, and I'll explain a little bit later, is webcam. There's no webcam right now, but that's fine. We can do it without a webcam. So, anyways, if you notice right now on the screen, up on the top right, we have our normal link to the Discord, but today we're going to do something a little bit special, and hopefully we can get you to join in on us if you're playing at your computer or whatnot. Oh, why is YouTube? There's an error on the YouTube chat. Anyways, regardless of the point. Alright, let's just quickly check here. I'm checking my settings for the little chat window I'm using to read off the chat. Anyways, so if you go into the Discord, okay, yeah, that's whatever. Let me just 1 second, guys. Let me make sure. Here, let's take a look. Actually, we'll just this way. Up the screen here. All right. There we go. All right. So here's the amazing Discord server, and I'll tell you quickly how to join us in the playtest. So we see here we're on the stream chat. Say hello. Oh, hello. There we go. Just show up on the little Discord window. Maybe, maybe not. Huh. Okay. I guess wrong chat. Whatever. Alright. Looks all good. Okay. So, anyways, once you, join the Discord server, if you're already here, congratulations. All you have to do is just go down to, here, the Laser Games channel, group, whatever. And here's the instructions right here. Just click on the link right here to go to the Steam page. The Laser Games. I already have it installed and whatnot, but you click this request access button right here, you can join the playtest. It says request access, but it's pretty much open right now. That might change in the future, of course, but right now we're just welcoming anybody to come in and play. Once you've joined in on there, then you'll want to hop into Steam. Right here you'll see I have this right here. You won't see that, you'll see this though. Laser Games playtest. You click properties. Alright, go to betas. I'm in a private beta, don't worry about that. What you will see here is this private beta screen right here. Let's go back to Discord. Here we go, beta Quantum 24. If I copy this link right here, go back to Steam now. Ooh, there we go, and then paste it, and then we click check code, and then you click this opt into beta, public beta branch. So this will let you get early access to the build, which we are going to be using to test out the game today. Bit of an exclusive build. Let me quickly hop over and switch Steam accounts so that we can test out this stuff. I have another computer right next to me. So yeah, we'll be able to look into all the nice changes and fixes and whatnot that have been going on in the background in these past little while. So quickly select Steam account. All right, make sure that the other computers open up. There we go. All right, and then no, excuse me. For a quick little word of context, if I click this button right here, there we go. You can see the view of the other computer. Anyways, let me hop into the game here. Let's test it out. So I'll be using the in-dev branch, nothing different than what you would be testing on now. All right. There we go. Let's see. I don't think the game capture is going to be working exactly. 1 second. Let's see if it is. Game capture. Do we have game capture? There we go. The laser games. All right, here we go. Hopping right into the action. Today, we'll brief overview of the schedule. You should check back previously about how to get access to the game. But what we're going to be doing is, showcasing the game a little bit. I'm going to play just a few matches or whatnot. I'm going to highlight a few of the neat features that are going to be in the game. I'm going to play an online match, as I mentioned before, so feel free to join us if you can. And then we're going to go open up the engine itself. We're going to look into some of the behind the scenes of how some of the stuff has been implemented. Should be really interesting. I'll break it down to you if you get lost or confused. And then after that, we're going to discuss some of the next steps because there's a lot of exciting things that are happening upcoming. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so here is let me rearrange the OBS windows real quick. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna set up a split screen view here. So let me resize this window. There we go. And then let's pull off. There we go. That window right there. All right, a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna reorder it. No, wait, let me do this, make this one smaller. So the bottom, there we go, the bottom right, that's the second computer. That's going to be what we're going to be, doing our work later on in. And then this one's the main computer, so let's get started. Let me launch the game on the second computer. So open up Steam, there we go. Click play. So one thing that's I don't know if it's new, but that's right, OBS doesn't show the Steam overlay. Anyways, let me move the window here on the second computer. Oh, that didn't go into window mode. What the heck? There we go. Still in early access. All right, there we go. Oh boy, that's a very small screen there. Luckily, I can just switch my secondary monitor. See it. There we go. Now I can see it pretty clear. Back to full screen windowed. There we go. All right, there we go. So we see on the bottom left, we have the second player right there. In the top right, we have the primary player. Some of the things that you might notice, I actually don't notice it because it's currently not really working. There's supposed to be a name tag above this player showing your name and showing your cosmetics later on, but I'm not sure why that's not working. Anyway, something that is working, we got the Steam overlay right here, and then sometime in the future, we're going to set up the ability to join a friend's match real quick just by right-clicking their name. Steam offers this functionality, just needs to be fixed, implemented. Still some bugs to figure out pretty much. It's just right click the name and then you could join the match if it's allowed in whatever game that they're playing. Anyways, let's get started. So we have the challenge mode. I've shown this a little bit before. I've shown some of the scorecards. Let's see here. If we go to the we can't get to the store page. If you can find me on Steam, you can see some of the scores I posted about the challenge mode. You can also post your own scores over on the Discord server. Oh boy, let me use a secondary screen here once again. Showcase the Discord server. Let's go. Here we go. All right. Scorecards. There it is. Right here. This channel right here, scorecards. I encourage you to share your scores to see if you can compete, be the best, or not. I don't know. What sort of crazy challenges do you have? Anyways, continue on. So we have over here on the main screen. I'd like to showcase the new server browser. So a bit cleaned up and a bit reorganized slightly to allow for right over here on the right side some filtering settings. Right now we just have a search LAN only setting, which doesn't entirely work for some reason. But what does work is the game refresh. Right now there's nobody's hosting a game, obviously, so let's change that. Go to host game now. Another thing that's changed is the game hosting window right here. So just as before, we can set the game name. So live stream game going now. There we go. All right. And then as before, we have max players. 12 players. Let's bump this all the way up, all the way to 40. Yeah, let's see if we can get 40 players. That'd be nice, but I don't think we're gonna get anywhere near that much. I'll spawn bots. So right now, there's not too much in terms of the bot customization, but this will just fill the like half the server with bots. And then we have some new settings here. Allow joining via presence, friends only via invite while in progress. So these were part of what I was talking about before, being able to join your friends' games directly through Steam. So this is what the presence means. And then down here, so advertise, I'll showcase your game in the server browser. So over here on the secondary display, advertise will make sure the game shows up on here. And then LAN only, make sure that it only shows up on local games. All right. And then you'll see up here we have some grayed out buttons. So these aren't currently implemented yet, but they are there just to set the layout of the menu. So the idea will be we have the general menu right here. Whoops, I just tagged the person in the background. Don't mind that. Anyways, so we have game types. If I click game types, it will show a list of the different game types. So these are the game modes. But for technical reasons, game mode and game can be confused with something in Unreal Engine. So we're using the term game type. Select capture the flag or team tag match or free for all or something like that. Over on a menu right down here, and then there's going to be all sorts of different settings, like how long is the match going to last and how many teams there going to be, and I don't know, some of the other settings like scoring, for instance. Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing. And then you can go over to maps here. So now you want to associate, we want to play on this map, but we also want to play on this game type. So that's where the maps tab here is going to go into effect. And you can also add some, overrides. So maybe on this map only, we only want to have 2 teams or something like that. So you can be able to customize all that. You can also just use the defaults as well. That'll be perfectly fine. Custom content. So this is going to be more for modded content. More or less just going to be just, enable the content, disable it, maybe apply it to a map or something like that. The custom content is going to be in the Steam Workshop. Which, okay, it's currently not set up. I'm looking at the Steam overlay right now. That'll be in a much later update. Later on in the development cycle, we'll be implementing the ability for you to mod the game and then implement your own mods into your own custom servers. And then last off, we have save load presets. So if you have a game config that you really like and want to reuse, you can save that. And another thing, little sneak peek into, you know, future features. This will be sort of the layout for setting up a dedicated server. So keep that in mind. Anyways, looks like our game is all ready to go. So I'm going to create a game right here. There we go. And as you can see, we start off in a spectator mode. There we go. Oh, there's a bot, and there's the new name tags right there. All right. There we go. Showcasing that right there. We have blue name tags for the blue players. We also have, there we go, red name tags for the other team. As you can see, the name tags do hide themselves when they, you know, aren't visible inside anymore. Anyways, so there we go. Let's join in on the other game now. So if we look on the bottom right screen, there we go. Click refresh, and there we go. Here's my game, Anti-Quantum's game. Oh, looks like the naming isn't quite correct. We can fix that later on though when we jump into the engine. So something else that isn't correct is that latency. All right, let's join into the game before the match starts because we can hear that countdown. There we go. All right. Now another issue. Oh, there we go. We're in the game. All right. I thought sometimes it might not load. That issue should have been fixed ages ago, but maybe it still needs to definitely get debugged. Anyways, now we're in the game. You can see on our player 2 over here, you can see blue team, bot 4, bot 1, bot 6. Another feature later on. If you have any fun names for the AI or the bots, let me know. Feel free to share them in the Discord server. There we go. Alright, so what I just did there was I joined in the team. I joined in the wrong spawn point. Not sure about that. But here we are in the game. Alright, now let me join in over here on the main. Oh, whoops, wrong screen. Zoom. Okay, there we go. Working with 2 different computers at once. Alright. So now I can switch teams to team 2 there. There we go. Now I'm in the game. I can run around. Let's try tagging some of these bots here. Oh, there we go. Just sort of, you know, spam the laser around. You'll notice that there's some, like, arrows around here. Those are only debug arrows for the certain build. They're not going to be in the main build that will be in the update. So, don't worry about that. There we go. Alright. Now, run around here. There we go. I can shoot the other bots over on the second screen. Bit stuttery, bit more than previously tested. There we go. Alright. Better than, well. So, oh boy, the bot, oh no, the bot's trapping me. Alright, let's see if we can meet up with the other player. There we go. Movement of the game is definitely something that needs to get fixed, more or less. Also, ooh, looks like, okay, there's our other player. We tag them just to prove it to you. So, there we go. Alright, and so this is definitely some of the reason why the update isn't quite out yet. As we can see here, we got, you know, Quantum Quantonia over here. This is not Quantum Quantonia, this is my other account. If I go into the pause menu, there we go. You can see on the scoreboard, scroll down here, there we go, Quantum Quantonia. So that's the second display on the right. And then Anti-Quantonia right down there, that's my primary display. It's right now being covered up, but you can see, I guess, the corner there. Anyways, what you can't see though is the name tag on the client essentially. So the bottom right is the client. That's something that we need to take a look into to figure it out. Could be, I don't know, could be various other things. Could take a lot of time to, you know, debug, so not gonna be the focus. Anyways, with that, the game is currently live, so feel free to join us. and you know, play. Oops, I am using the wrong mouse and keyboard combo. Oh boy. I wonder actually, let me take a look at the control panel. Let's see if second, there we go. See if the networking, maybe the live stream is messing up with the network syncing issues or something. Switch monitors real quick. Okay. OBS is working, right? Yep, it looks like it's going. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. So let's I guess we should take a look around the map here. You can notice the music there. If you're playing on the server, it's another issue is the music not playing on the other end. But it's made by the music artist who's also done the live stream music, and set up in a way such that it sort of sounds like it's actually placed in the map. Of course, you can hear it anywhere, and there's no like reverb or anything like that, but there is like spatialization. So if I move around, and if you're wearing stereo headphones, you can actually sort of hear where it's kind of located, more or less. So it's an interesting little feature to try to integrate the music into the map itself, rather than simply just being background music. All right. Let's see if I can get some people to join us. Where is my Discord window? Here's Discord. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. All right, let me check what, okay. All right, we got 2 minutes left in the match. Let's see who's winning right now. We got 421 nice versus 351 points on Blue's team. Yeah, let's go back to spectator mode. Here we go, default spectator. I got bot 3, bot 7, bot 1. Right now the AI is very dumb. They don't do anything. The bot 0 there, rocking back and forth. Definitely an issue that we need to fix. So anyways, let's go on an adventure and start tagging some people here. Get red team to win. Alright. Oh boy. This is definitely problematic, to say the least. This is, oh, I'm getting stuck, huh? That's weird. The needs of playtesting. Oh boy. So right now it looks like there's an issue with the Unreal movement prediction. That's a little bit better. We can move a little bit forward now. Alright. Looking for a blue team. Tag them, because we can't tag our own teammates. There we go. There's a person. There we got him. We got him. Alright. $26. Okay. Oh, that's a minute left mark. A little fun tidbits about the laser games. If you look at the bottom right screen there, here we go, 3 different mirrors. If I click shoot the laser there we go. Yeah, we're getting the corner bounce. Another thing, you can see the reflections. They look kind of mediocre on the bottom right, but those are lumen reflections, and they are in real time. Even though when playing on here, on the bottom right is a laptop that's, kind of similar graphics to the Steam Deck. So, it'll be pretty interesting to be able to see and tag other players through the reflections, which is a pretty big, important part of the game. Then, get the last player. Get them. Ah! Team 1 wins. Where's Team 1? Okay. Yeah, that still needs some work. So the ending is still a bit rough and definitely needs to be tested out, but we can see the scoreboard right here. Click resume. Oh, we can't click resume. Oh, there we go. We click resume now. Oh, this is stuck now. I should have done that. Anyway, so yeah. This is a basic sort of match flow. Of course, with a bunch of dumb AI, it's not much is really happening. So AI is one of the things that we are definitely looking into fixing. We want to make the AI, the bots, really play like other players and give you a challenge. That's really the big thing. We don't want it's actually very difficult to make an AI act as like a player. Oh, and look at that! Looks like the game actually restarted on the server end. Oh, and we're back on the client end. All right, so that's working now. So with that said, we can just keep the game on repeat pretty much. Pretty cool. There we go, and then we can select the team again and then join and whatnot. All right, let me go over to. Uh-oh. Like we have an issue with them now. Oh, there we go. Let's try it. Alright, that's interesting. Should be able to join. Oh, we can't join. Alright, so there's an issue right there. Go ahead and rejoin. Let's see if that works. So, there we go. Refresh. There we go. There's another issue where the games might show up twice for some reason. Okay, there we go. So loading in. Might be a bit stuck right now. There's been some issues with being able to get players to rejoin the game. I think with that, I'll stop the game right here. Okay, if you want to join us, do a multiplayer session. I'm gonna hop into the engine right now, but feel free to put a chat message in Discord or in the game, whatnot. Letting us know that you want to join in. So I'm gonna update the quick text right now. There we go. All right. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so let's hop into Google. There we go. Make that full screen now. All right. Switch over to my other development window. Why did the music oh, I switched audio inputs. Huh. Okay, that's weird. I'm not using that. Alright. There we go. So let me open up the game here. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Alright. So let's take a look at some behind the scenes once the solution opens up of what's going on with the game. Here, hello. Uh-oh. I got the window stuck. One second. There we go. Okay. All right. And here we go. Close out that, close out that, close out all these windows actually, because I have a messy workspace. Alright, so the thing that I want to talk about this live stream is that very special name tag component that is the big emphasis of this update. So let me close out of all these tabs here. We're looking. Great, almost there. There we go. Alright. Got some notification on my watch. Okay, yeah, whatever. Let's see here. So we have the, this is the class structure in good old C++. And then it's formatted in a way such that you can access the public stuff if you want to mod the game. So let's look into, let's see here. This label component, what's this? Label component, no, excuse me, handles adding labels to objects, which labels display user widget and are always pointing to the camera. Labels of contents are dependent on each widget. So this is the base of name tags. Yeah, excuse me. Got some congestion in my nose. Anyways, so what this is essentially is it displays a UI element that points towards the camera. That's what this class does. And there's a bunch of other settings here, so these can be configured to, you know, hide or show the window behind the wall or in front of it, or how sensitive it is to being hidden or whatnot. And look at the description here. Always pointing to the camera. Now, something interesting about the code itself, if I open it up. Alright, here we go. Here's the source code itself. Take a look at this a little bit. Alright, so how are we doing this magic? We got this function called add widget. Implementation, that's just for blueprint purposes. That it's an Unreal Engine thing. Don't worry about that. But it takes in a player object. Pretty much it just spawns in the widget and sets up the widget to always point to this new player. That's what this code down here more or less does. What else do we got? We got tick widget. So this one takes in one of the widget components that was made before, as well as the player that, you know, views that widget, and then updates it. So if we look down here, this code right here is checking to see if we should hide or show the widget. This down here, this makes it point towards the player. So uses a really sneaky little technique where we take the camera rotation and we set that to the widget rotation. Let me demonstrate this. So pull up, yeah, sure, OneNote here. Let me Actually, nah, let's not do one of those. I have Krita. Huh. Okay, GIMP. Not sure I don't have Krita on this laptop. Alright. So while GIMP opens up there. There we go, there's GIMP. Good old free Photoshop replacement. About GIMP, yep, okay, there we go. Close that. Oh no, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so alright. Oops, wrong, undo. Okay, so you got, you know, you got a camera down here. There you go, there's a camera. Boom. Now the camera has a rotation. There we go. There's the camera's rotation. So the camera has a forward vector. Let's make the forward vector red. Yeah, that works. There you go. There's a forward vector. All right. And then, you know, what we see in the camera. Gray. Now this is the perspective of the camera. Now, the way that the cameras work is that there's a virtual plane here. You know, let's say right about here. So this plane represents the actual screen that the camera is being displayed on. Because, technically speaking, this viewport goes all the way down to this little tiny point, which is infinitesimally small, and for technical reasons, it doesn't work. So there's a what's called a viewing plane right here that actually displays the image. Now let's make a widget here. Let's go, yeah, let's use this ugly red looking texture. So, you know, here's the widget right here. There we go, displaying some nice text on the screen. And then, you know, we have our little player. There you go, there's the player right there. All right. Now we can see there that the widget is facing the plane, the camera. All right, so now let me clear this. Fill with, yeah, sure, white. Not sure why it doesn't let me fill with black, but whatever. All right. So now I'm gonna flip the colors a bit. Let's say that the camera is now rotated this way. Okay, there we go. And then we take our little, okay. So now there's the viewing angle, and here's that viewing plane like I said before. Now we go back, get our player added again. So there's the player right there. Now so we had the name tag viewing, you know, this way, but that'll look weird. That's like at an angle. So we don't want that. Instead, we just simply rotate it to match the rotation. You remember that forward vector that I mentioned before? So that's the forward vector. This is the opposite of that forward vector. So now, as you can see, I edit this here. So this is the forward vector of the widget. It is simply just the opposite. So that is how the rotation code actually works. So let me close out of that. I don't need to save that. Oh, my bad. I should have resized the window earlier. Let me do that real quick. All right. All right, there you go. Now you can see the code in full detail. So, as I said before, this is the rotation code. And as you can see, it just flips the forward and the right vectors. So, that's a little more advanced way of saying how the rotation works, but essentially the up vector points upwards, and we always want the widget to be up in the direction of the camera. Otherwise, it'll be like upside down or something like that. We don't want it like that. All right, and last but not least, we have a scaling factor. So if you noticed from when you were in playtesting, the widgets were always more or less the same size on the screen. So this is what that does. It's a quite simple equation, really. Well, it's a little more complex, but pretty much it's just the distance from the camera to the widget. You want to scale it by some factor. All right. And then a little bit more stuff. So this is the standard object tick component. This pretty much just loops over all of our existing widgets right here. Name widget components is the list of the widgets, and then it calls the tick widget function that I talked about from previously. And up here, this checks for locals players and adds the widget if they don't have one. So a local player isn't like LAN player. No, this is the player playing on the same computer. So, with that said, we've been looking into a little bit of implementing split screen multiplayer into the game. So, if you're playing on your own computer, or I don't know about consoles, that's probably later on. But if you're playing locally with your friend or whatnot, coming over to visit, maybe, you know, up to 4 players, let's say, that seems reasonable. You can all just hop into the game and play split screen. That'd be a great and fun time, and I think the game will definitely be capable of doing such. We just need to implement some of that back-end logic. Part of it is getting this system working, so the widgets need to, you know, show up for every single player, obviously. Some of the other stuff that we need to do is getting the players to actually get added and split screen to, you know, work. Unreal Engine has good support with that, but it just needs to get implemented eventually. So that's something to look forward towards in a future update, maybe for the next fest in Steam. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at now. If I go under to the player, we have the player label component. All right, and when it open up on the right side, it inherits from our custom object that I just described, the label component. The difference is that it's designed specifically for players. So it inputs a player state, so that pretty much just represents the player that we want to be displayed via the name tag, as well as a team object that could be, you know, for the team colors or something else. And then there's a name override as well, if, you know, for whatever reason we want to set the player name. So what I want to do is I want to demonstrate the capabilities of this label component right here. So let's do that. I'm going to hop into the engine. Let's start running it right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, there's an old tutorial level back in the prototype stage, which use similar widget objects to, you know, showcase how the player scoring works. So I'd like to so just for this live stream, I'm going to do a basic little demonstration of how the label component can be used for something other than player name tags. So we can see here, we can't actually see here. Right now the Unreal Engine is opening up. It's taking its good time on this laptop. Okay. Hopefully we don't have to compile any shaders, because otherwise that'll take a long time. Oh, excuse me. All right. If you look at the taskbar, the game engine has opened up. There we go. So this is the main menu screen right here. If I click play, we can see what that's supposed to look like. Never mind. Go into standalone mode. We can see what that looks like. There we go. Now, we want to check real quick. The open level blueprint. There was an issue I mentioned before about that player there, the dummy, not being named correctly. This is the code that's supposed to set that up. we click play here, we can actually see the debug. There we go, main menu map 1, we can see what's going on. Looking like we don't have any name widget components made, which is interesting. So that's something to take a look into later on. Pretty much what's happening is, if we look at the label component code here, this code add widget, it's not being called for the one player that we have. So, you know, the player showing the main menu screen pretty much. So it's not being called. We need to definitely look into that later on, but that's not what we're looking into right now. So I'm gonna go to our maps, and then it's under our prototype. No, actually it's not under prototype. We're right there. There we go. This is the old tutorial level. Complete without textures. There we go. There's a texture. Oh boy. Ah. Let me fix the ground real quick. Go with something a little. Alright, that'll work. Alright, that's better. Build grid texture. That actually looks pretty cool. Anyways, this is what we had, you know, before. This is in the prototype. Just a widget here. Let me see if we can click on this widget. There we go. Score indicator. So it's a bit sloppy, you know, blueprint code, whatnot. But you can see here, actually, more or less, it does sort of the same thing. Find lookout rotation is a slightly different function, but it pretty much just sets the rotation of the widget to the world. And if I click play, I actually don't know what's going to happen. So we're using FFA game mode, free-for-all game mode, which is an old game mode using the first-person character. Okay, let me check this. So this is under prototype. All right, let's change that. So game types, no timer. Game type, no timer. Is there a game type in here? There's no game type. All right, so the timer game type is like, you know, your team tag match, except it's just it's set up in a way such that there's no timer. Pretty simple. But a little fact about how the game is set up is that every single, you know, map is sort of built around this underlying game type. So there should always be some game type that exists. Now, I want to take the core game mode base, so that's the overall game mode in the game. All right, now I think we need a little bit more setup regarding our game type here. So we're using the default game data prototype. I'm going to go into content data maps. Okay, let's make a new folder. So we want to, you know, keep organized. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the data for that game type. So this is sort of what you would do if you were to make your own custom map or your own custom game type for the modding community. If you want to just set up a server, then you go through the setup UI that was showcased before, or you go through the dedicated server setup. Anyways, I'm gonna go to blueprint class here and I'm gonna search. Oh, what is it? Let's search game type. There we go. Game type data component base. Select that. Tutorial game type data, something like that. Not entirely sure about the naming scheme, but for now that'll work. So game type name, let's set this to tutorial. Here we go. Start when everybody's ready. Start players and spectator. Let's turn that off. I don't want to start players and spectator. Free for all, turn that on. Balance team selection off. All spawn bots, all teams. Sure, yeah, we'll keep that on. Maybe bots will be used for something later on. Alright, now, let's see here. Component tick, so that's default on Unreal. Down here, setup. So this is for, again, for modding. What is the minimum and maximum number of teams that the player can set up for this game type? Since it's the tutorial, we only need, you only need actually 2 teams. So the way the game's, set up, the first team is actually a spectator team. All right, now pre-match time. So let's mouse over this. If 0 starts immediately, if negative, can only start by an admin or custom. So We want it to be, let's see here. Okay, countdown. So we don't want the game to go on by a set amount of time. We're going to set the pre-match time to -1. Alright, now default team setup. So the team setup is the sort of data that holds the information about the various teams. So this could be swapped out. This could be maybe, you can maybe add as many or as many little teams as you want depending on the map and game type. That'll be under data, teams, default. Oh, never mind. It's under maps. So if you look at prototype maps, default game type, there you go. We go back to tutorial. Now I'm going to right click again and let's go. It's on a miscellaneous. There we go, data table. Oh, excuse me. Team, there we go. All right. Let me check here. So those are the old blueprint prototypes. We want this one. Script, laser tag, team struct base. Data underscore tutorial. All right. Now we want to open this up. Save it real quick. All right, let's add a row. So this is going to be our default spectator. Game always expects the default spectator to be here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these off. So the player can't join this team because we don't want the player to be in this team. Also turn off that, although it's AI don't spawn in the spectator team anyways. And then those, if you leave that as none, they should be default. And now we add another team. Save. You can name the row name, but more importantly, the team name will be player team. All right, now player start tag is where the player will spawn by default. Since this is a tutorial, we just have one place that the player spawns in. But in the actual game, for instance, we want the players to spawn based off their team. Excuse me. We'll set that up if needed. All right, I'm going to go down. Let's see here. Team is not a spectator team. Prefer team colors. Let's turn that off. So what that will do, we have these primary and secondary colors. If we turn this off, it'll instead prefer to show the player his own customization colors. So that's another thing that is upcoming, probably within the next update after this upcoming update, is that you'll be able to customize your player select your own favorite colors pretty much. Have the laser be set to that color in the free-for-all modes or whatnot. Alright, we definitely want to allow human players. Points. So this is the default amount of points that players given. Maximum player count. Alright. See here, default player data. So the player data is what holds all the data, your scores, and how many walks you've done and stuff like that, how many steps you've taken. Alright, allow players to switch off team. No. Allow players to switch to team and join team. Yes. AI autofill mount 0, so we don't want any AI on this team. Alright, these settings here. So there's a third person mode that's still work in progress, as well as a left and right hand mode. So these are settings that would configure that. Scoring. So by default, we have here friendly fire is enable. So let's see here. Let's turn this one on. So friendly fire conditions. If true, disables the player tagged on friendly fire. So if I tag a friend of mine, a teammate of mine, with this on, they'll get tagged. And then we have some score modifications here to handle that. There's also a self tag. So if you tag yourself, you also get disabled. And then the score can be adjusted in various ways. All right, now down here, some UI elements. So the team widget, this is what displays on the top of the window to show the team score. or the player score if it's a free-for-all mode. The default widget is just the base underlying widget that all players start with. Name widget is the default widget for that team. If it's set, then all the players on that team will use that widget. Anyways, so let's save this here. Go back to here. Select our tutorial data. There we go. Naming is a bit off, but I can fix that later on. All right, compile that. There we go. Minimize that. Now let's go back to game type timer here. Let's see if we can add this in. We can't. Okay. We can do this. We have tutorial game type data. So ideally, you'd be able to just switch out which type of game type you want. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that entirely. So do it the proper way. No timer. Game type no timer. Create a child class of that. Game type no timer underscore tutorial. Right. Now, I think we go into okay. Tutorial game type data. So we want this to be that's weird. Let's switch it to here. Not here. Okay, you know what? Here, I'll just do this simple fix. So, game type base, yeah, reparent. This should fix it. There we go, tutorial game type. Now this is set up to use our tutorial configuration. Here we go. Now take this game type, delete that. We don't need that. I said delete it. Delete, delete, delete. Come on. Why is my delete key working? What the heck? There we go. That was weird. Alright. There's our game type no timer tutorial. If you look here, we can see our little config right down right down here. Alright, let's save that. Save selected. There we go. Okay, let's check here. One more check. Okay, we got our player start there. Okay, let's see if we can hop into the game here. If I click play, round. Oh, we're into the spectator mode though. Oh boy, we've got some errors here. Look at all those errors. But that's with the prototype score indicator. So, what I want to check though, I want to make sure that the players can hop into a team real quick. Back out to our data folder. Apps tutorial. Data. All right. So that's supposed to select a team for us. And if I click play, I'm placed in Also, I cannot see the back there, so let me... Alright, let's see what's going on. We have 2 teams here. Okay. Team strip. Let's check what this is. Player team. This is interesting. It is spawning us into a spectator pond. Oh, because default class is spectator pond. That might be why. Okay, save that real quick. There's the data. Okay, so we don't want team data tutorial. There we go. Okay, so the default spectator pond, no. Player character, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Alright. There we go. Now we're in the game. Got there we go. Ooh, look at that. Using the red and blue player colors. Now we got the basic tutorial, so the way that this works is you just walk left and right, and then you jump, and then you crouch, which crouch isn't working. Let's see what's going on with crouching. Actually, I think I know what's going on with crouching. With that in mind, let's just... Alright, let's see what's going on now. Left, right, jump. Okay, boom. We got the old label system, which isn't in the camera. Okay. We got some interesting text, though. Okay. So, you saw that how this is working. It's not working that well. Let's fix that. So, I click here, the label component. This is set up in such a way that there's a top text and a bottom text. This is how it was set up in the prototype. Which is different, but we can reuse our prototype widget here. Or the new label component. So let's do that. This should be a dummy. First person dummy. Let's replace this dummy here with somebody else. This. Okay. And there. All right. Now we got all these sensors here. I want to add a little indicator regarding the scoring of the sensor. So here is what I'm going to do. So the basic structure of the, oops. Just ignore that, ignore that, ignore, no! Come on. What the heck? Okay, sorry about that. Engines launching. Okay. Back. Alright. So before I open up the map, take a look at the player dummy here. So this is the same dummy as that one right there. Alright. This is some stuff that's supposed to set up the naming for the player. That's beside the point though. Let's look at the actual player itself. So, we got a completely very oversized weapon. My goodness. Anyways, got the basic player character from Unreal Engine with the skeleton, arrow component, all that fun stuff. We got a camera that's attached to a spring arm, so this allows for third-person mode. We got down here, we got team assignment, disabled component. Team assignment, that assigns the player to a team pretty much, but it allows for some other stuff like switching teams and getting the information about the team. Very interesting little component. It's also works with the sensor as well as the weapon and stuff like that. So very important. Disable component says if is this player disabled or not. It also allows for some configuring about the timing, like how long is the player disabled or enabled, whatnot. Now, grip point component left and right is a neat little component that interacts with the weapon to make it shoot. It also handles the attaching for the weapon. Here's the name tag attached, so this is where the player name tag would show up. Of course, I don't see it myself because, you know, kind of wouldn't make sense for you to see your own name tag. That can cause all sorts of weird. Okay, and the rest of that stuff is mostly like debug and whatnot. Character mesh, that's the actual mesh that's showing up. What isn't showing up though are these little sensors here. So there's actually some additional actors handling the character. If I go back into here, we should be able to see them. There they are. There's way too many sensors going on right now because there's an issue with replication and whatnot. But as you can see, we have this vest object. So this is an interesting little object. It first simulates the vest that you wear during laser tag, but does a little more than that. It handles the spawning of the sensors and, like, you know, which weapon you have. It might also be tracking some stats, but that's not quite implemented yet. So what I want to do, and then we have all these sensors here. So the sensors are what you tag in laser tag. So what I want to do, let's go back out of blueprints. Let's go into, props. So we have some sensors here. Let me make a new folder, organize this a little bit. Put those into there. Let's see if we can, so what we're going to do is make a custom vest. We're going to set up the vest so that it works with the dummy to let us, you know, attach text to each of the sensors. So that's all I want to do. Let me quickly fix redirectors here real quick. Delete them. Alright. So, I'm going to create a new sensor class. Search up sensor down here. There. Oh, I misspelled. Sensor. Alright. There's different sensor types. Let's do... let's do the basic one. Sensor name tag. And then create a child of that. Sensor underscore name tag underscore. Okay. Now there's some... Let me check here actually. See here. Sphere component. But we can't change that to a rectangle component. So one of the issues of working with blueprints. Change this to a sensor. Rectangle. There we go. Yeah, reparent. Now it's a little cube. Alright. So we will use that later. Go to here. Oh boy. New folder, call it vests. So I make a custom vest class now. Once again, go to blueprints. Let's go to vest. There we go. Test vest instance. We don't need that. We need this. Select. So, labeled. That's what it is. Now, if we open up the vest, we can see here we got a bunch of sensors right here. These are what the vest spawns in. They have spawned a bunch of sensors. Later on, when I'm going to have a proper mesh for the vest, the sensors will actually be attached appropriately onto the vest itself. That's what the role of this render mesh is, but we don't have that yet. We also have a noise component, which plays all the laser tag noises, mainly the tagging noises themselves. The laser shooting gun noises are played on the gun itself. Okay, so let's look at some of the configuration here. So, spawn weapons on spawn? Yeah, sure, we'll turn that on. We can change the default primary, and we can also add a secondary weapon class. So when there's a secondary class, that'll act as like a, dual wielding sort of style. What else? Disable component. So this has to do with the disabled component, like before with the player. The neat thing about this disabled component is that it's set up so that, if it's attached to another actor with a disabled component, you'll just use the settings from that actor. So you don't need to touch anything really in there necessarily. All right, let's look at what else we got. Replication, blah, 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 blah. We got team assignment component. So something about the disabled component is it'll use attached information. One thing I do not see though is what class of sensors it was. Okay, interesting. Yes, very interesting. Okay. So let's you can quickly implement that. Yeah. So this is the vest header file right here. So sort of showcasing the whole overview of the vest. The way that the vest works is you have default attach points. So I want these to be edit defaults. Actually, not edit anywhere. So what this little tag here will do is it'll let us be able to see in this menu here, pretty much this array. So we want this to be exposed so that we can, maybe customize how the attach points work. Well, let's read the description. If attach use the listen. Okay, whatever. All right, and then this showcases, this is the actual attachable. So the attachable, this is like a sensor, and then this maps these to a point to which attached to much. That's handled more or less in the player component rather than the vest component. What we are looking for though, okay, don't see it here. Open up the source file. Here's the source file. Okay, let's see here. So, instructor, begin play. Okay, destroyed, tick. This subclass actor eye attachable target. Okay. That's a bunch of attaching code. Here we go. Set up weapons. This sets up, I think this only does the weapons. Set up on instructor, construction. Okay, so here's the sensor setup. Oh, right, I don't have multiple windows. Okay, so. Right here. That's the attachable type. Now, how do we get the actual class though? So params. Hold on. Aha, there it is up there. So that's where we're setting up the class. Okay. So I'm going to restructure this a little bit, not too much. So this here is an array of, where to attach all the sensors. I'm going to replace this with I can do that. Team map. So a team map instead maps we want to map the name of the attach point with a class. So T subclass of a sensor. There we go. We can make this, let's make it attachable. Actually, no, wait, hold on. I see now. Okay. So we want to expose that and attaches.add. So if this is filled already, it won't modify it. So we want to fill it. So view property, edit anywhere. Blueprint right. This one, touch points to how touches is empty. Use this list. Okay. Let's remove that. So this is if for like default object itself, right? All right. This is important. Why it's important to have good documentation. Okay. So anywhere blueprint rewrite meta equals expose on spawn equals. Okay, so what this will do, edit anywhere, it'll let us edit this list as we want it to be edited, because we want to specify which points to attach the sensors to. Blueprint rewrite, this lets the blueprints modify this list. Actually, we've changed it to blueprint read only, since this is something that's done only on the construction script here. And then meta equals expose on spawn true. So in the blueprints, it will provide a little tab to let us define this map. So yeah, with that, I'm going to close out the engine now and then restart it to hopefully apply those updates. Got a lot of direct messages here. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's see if there's any errors. If not, we should be able to modify the attaches array to pretty much define our new sensor layout. So, like before, we want to use that new custom sensor that will let us eventually apply a label onto it. Yes, gotta build right now. 30 actions to build. This might take a bit of time. So with that said, look a little bit into the previews about how the dedicated server config is going to work. This is empty as expected. This one's not empty though. Here we go. So if you remember from previously, our server configuration setup, we had, actually didn't show it. Anyways, so this is what the server config is going to sort of look like, at least the basic main configuration. So we got, down here, for instance, this is defining a game type and map combo. So game type is, you know, the name of the game type if it's not the default one for the map. This is the map that you point to. So if it's like a custom map, it would be like, I don't know what it'd be actually. Probably not /games. /games for like default. And then that's is the default game type config main, which defines all the parameters for the game type. Right now it's not filled up. But so the idea being, you're going to create all these configuration files in your dedicated server. It'd be like, if I can open it up. Let's open up the game itself. There we go. Browse local files. All right. So we have, you know, laser tag right there. We have content. Content. Okay, nothing there. All right. Saved config. I believe it'll be in save config and then maybe like Windows or something that you would create the configuration files in. And then when you launch in dedicated server mode, which would be something they have to add in later on, it would use those configuration files and set the game, assuming everything goes smoothly, just work in theory. All right, anyways, let's go back to the vest now. I want to use the blueprint editor. Let's look here. Okay, we got attaches. That's good. So now I want to add an attach. I'm going to set this to be the sensor underscore name tag, and then the way that it works, let's look at the the documentation. So tmap, mapping attach point name to an attachable class for initialization. Each name here should be equal to an attach point on an intended attachment if possible. We'll also attach a render mesh under the same names for sockets. Okay. Now, for a little more context, let's look at the source file here. There we go. Vest.c++. So the way that this works is there's this active attaches, default attach points, and then active attaches. Okay, default attach points. So these are the default attach points that the sensor is attached to. And it just is tag by name. So I'm going to define left shoulder, right shoulder, front, and back. I'm going to move this window down here. There we go. All right. It's full screen. Oh, can't do that yet. Okay, let's do left shoulder. Right. Right shoulder. Front. And back. Now, if we wanted the, you know, maybe the front, let's make the front, just for front, the rectangle sensor. And the back too. And then make these the normal ones. All right, there we go. Now we compile that. Okay, that's all good and all. Now if we go to viewport, we should be able to see, okay. Maybe there needs to be something else. Maybe there's an issue going on or something. Well, we'll see. Actually, can quickly add into the world. Boom. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. We got sensor name tag rectangle, and then our other name tags. So it looks like maybe the rectangle is no rectangle or something. Maybe it's too small. I don't know. All right, let's delete all these. Delete. There we go. Okay. Now, go back out. Go into our miscellaneous. Create a child blueprint class of a dummy. Dummy underscore label. There we go. All right, let's open this up now. Save that. Okay, so if we look into the character configuration here, let's look here. Camera options, materials, actor tick, input stuff. Don't need to worry about that. Component tick. Nah. Player character, default player game data. Okay, default player global data. Okay. Okay, let's look at default. All right, nothing there that's of interest, but this player data does look somewhat interesting. Let's open up the player data. Okay. So it's a U object that has the default vest for us. So what I want to do pretty much is make it so that we can set the player data custom define it here, or at least custom define the class of the player data. And then when the object gets created, it will use our custom vest class instead. Now, let's see if we can do that without any issue. So we go back out to data. Okay. Custom. Oh. Some player data. All right. Let's see here. Let's go. Can we do a blueprint? I search data. Let's see here. Player data asset global. Record contain all the player data minus anything. Try this. I want to check it real quick though. Yeah, this is it. Okay, good. So, labeled player data. Alright. Save that. Now, we just have to select the labeled vest right there. Compile. And then now we have our custom object. Alright. Now let's go back to the dummy labeled character. See if we can set up the player data to use that one. It doesn't look like it. Okay. So it looks like we need to do a little bit of modification. So let me pull up the C++ code again. Let's go into the player character. It'll be a bit of a big class, but and go through it line by line. Well, not line by line. That'll be a lot. Alright, so let's look here. Look for that vest. Alright, there's the vest. Attached vest equals null pointer. So the vest gets created at runtime pretty much, but we don't want that. We actually want the player data. Get player game data, get player global data. Okay. Default player game data. Excuse me. Okay. So, we can see here that the default player game data is a T-object pointer. However, technically speaking, the player data class, well, it's a class instead. So we don't want to create the default sub-object here. We want to create it in the constructor here. Sort of where we're creating all this other stuff here. So let's do some changes here. Make this be visible. Visible anywhere. All right. Blueprint read only. Replicated expose and spawn equals true. So keep the replication. Let's remove the exposing and spawn. And then copy this for our global data as well. Okay. Now I'm going to add 2 more fields up here. View property. Fit anywhere. Blueprint. Read write. Meta equals expose on spawn. True. And then can I do no. Category equals defaults. Alright. Now, instead of a T-object pointer, we want to do T subclass. View player data game asset base default player game data class equals view player data game asset base static And we want to remove this because we don't want to create a default sub object quite yet. Alright, now I'm going to copy this because I'm a bit lazy. Okay, there we go. Paste that. Default player global data. And then instead of a game asset base, we're going to go to the player global asset. There we go. Alright. Class of player game data to create for the default object. Class of global data. Create for default. Alright, so the default objects are used when the player, or the dummy pretty much, doesn't have any other player associated with it. Alright, now, we use these over here in the constructor script. After all this setup here, set defaults. Actually, no. Wait, we want to do it early on. We want to do it like first. Do it before we even do all that stuff. Alright. Now, it's not anything too complicated. We just default player game data equal to create default sub object. And then player asset base. Now let me check here real quick, 1 second. Okay, so we don't want that. We want to use new object. Alright, we want to use a new object because there's that U class value right there that we want to use, pass in pretty much our T subclass of value here, pass that into the U class. So U player data game asset base, there we go. Now outer is just get outer pretty much. F name, I don't want an F name. No F name. Hold on. Why not need that? Object, okay. Okay. When in doubt, I can always just look at what I made previously. So let's do that. So the set of best default attach, if we go to the definition here, this uses spawn actor, which lets us pretty much pass in the actor that we want. But that's not an actor, that's an object. Let me check. Let me check with, I think, the game type data component base. So this, if you remember, this uses a component pretty much. Okay. Anyways, we can look at it how it works here anyways. So default, no, not team class. Okay, whatever. You know, let's just do it. Do it the hard way. Okay. Create default subobject. And comma. Okay, that'll work. I know what to do now. So, new player data game asset base. Okay. Now, I got confused about that subobject name. This is actually just the object of the data. So, default player data. Here we go. Comma. Transient. Yeah, we can set it true, I guess. Actually, no, don't set it true. All right. We got a few values here. Return type is default player game data class static class. No, not static class. All right. Organize this a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, next value. Same thing, default player game data class. Okay, comma. Now is required is true. Oops. True. There we go. And then is it transient? So transient is pretty much saying will be saved in the level. And I think for the default subject, yeah, let's leave it to false. It's the default. All right. Organize this a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, there's an error going on. Incompatible. Aha. Okay, so this returns I think it was a new object. So then we need to cast it. U here data game asset base. Okay, that should, let me check real quick. We're gonna do it this way. Yeah, it returns a U object, okay. Copy this and paste it for the global data. Default player global game, and we use the global data instead. Save that. Why isn't it like it this time? Maybe because I'm using the data class. That's why. There we go. All right. Let's see if that works. So what we want to do is pretty much be able to set these values here, more or less. Let's run it. There's an error. 1 second. Yep. Okay. What's going on? Meta when expecting. Oh, they're missing a comma here. Alright. I'm missing another comma. No, cancel. Yep. Go to this again. Okay. Capture card. Look up. Mic tech check. Okay, mic's still working. All right, there we go. All right, sorry about that. For some reason, the capture card audio wasn't set up. Now I should be able to hear, and you should be able to hear it too. Check. Okay, so I don't hear it. That's going through output B2. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's really loud. Oh, that's. Okay, there we go. Right, there we go. Now I just need to set to be able to output to my audio. Goes to A3, is it? There we go, I can hear it now, but it's really staticky. Oh boy. All right. The engine is back up now. Okay. Look here. Let's check now. If I go out to blueprints, miscellaneous, label dummy, full screen, we can check here. Let's see. And we have down here under defaults. That's what we want. Yeah, alright. This is good. Okay, so set this to label player data. Boom. Now we compile. And now this object right here, the default player game data, should be the labeled player data. It is not. Interesting. Or is it? Actually, I think it is. Okay, well let's see how it works. All right, so we have labeled player data. Player character dummy test, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's go back to our tutorial and let's add in these new dummies into the game. Here we go. Delete these old prototype dummies. Delete. Alright, there we go. Now we add in dummy labeled. Rotate in so it's facing that direction or something. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what that trigger sphere is. Oops. Alright, and oh, look at that. Nope. Okay, not working. Okay, so let's look at what's going on here. So we have labeled player data. Let's check to see the labeled player data. Okay, labeled vest. So, alright. This vest here should be the labeled vest and not the default vest, which it is right now. So this looks like there's an issue with how we're doing the default sub-object, I guess. Okay. So I think instead of using default sub-object, we will use new object. So default sub object is for the constructor, and things don't really change. We'll use new object instead to create a new object during the on construction script. So we want to create the data in here instead. All right. So do we want to do that? So ask that because the default player data might be used in get player game data in the constructor. It shouldn't be though. Yeah, okay, set up character capsule. Ooh, yeah, it is used in there. Okay. All right, let's look up a little bit of Unreal documentation here. There we go. All right. It shows all my bookmarks anyways. Okay, whatever. So, we new. There we go. I think we finally found it. Google searching for documentation of something really bad. All right, let's look here. So we're using create default subobject right now. Creates a default subobject that provides method for creating child class and returning the parent class. It's like a certain local data or local static assets. So try using new object. Okay. Okay, let's move it. Yeah, we'll just move it down to the instruction script. All right, and then the character capsule, since that's dependent on the data, move that down. What about NMBP? No, it doesn't look like it's dependent. Okay. And then camera. Okay, camera doesn't look like it's dependent either. What about static mesh? That's set up. Okay. It also doesn't look like it's dependent. dependent yet. It might be dependent later on. So with that in mind, actually, move both of these into the construction script. There we go. All right, now on construction, instead of create default sub object, move the cast first off. Okay, we want to use new object. All right. Let's see here. Equals new object. We got a parameter here. We're at what template? Yeah. New player gain a game asset base. Okay, now get alter comma. All right, f name. Okay, I don't see it. We have a template there, but we don't have any U class. Oh, let's see here. New object of T class. Okay. Let's try that. This, comma, default player, you get a class. Okay. Supposedly this works. Hey, it works. Wow. Alright, good. Be a lot more simpler than what we were doing before. Their global data class now. Okay. Data asset global. Is that okay? So now the defaults should be set up correctly in the construction script instead of the constructor on real technical terms. Don't worry about that. Point being, it should be able to be set up in a way that we can see and we can select which class type we want to input the data, and then that data goes into our character. So let's see if that's what happens. Oh, excuse me. And we got an error here. Looks like an error from setup anim VP. Interesting. Ah, okay. Let's stop that. We gotta move these. Move these into our function down here. Okay. And another error. What the heck? Oh, because we use create default sub object. Whoops. Okay, I can fix that real quick. Right. Component underscore L. There we go. Just okay, let's try moving this. No, actually here. Take this out. And we will move it all the way up to our little constructor. Boom. Make sure we don't have any other create default sub object. Okay, so that one's under team assignment, which is fine because that's already in the constructor. Set up camera. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna undo a little bit of stuff that we did before. Let's move this stuff back up. Back up into the constructor. All right, that should be good. Nope. Okay, so sub character capsule must. Aha. Aye, so many errors. Yeah, get team. Parent team ref is not valid. Under sub camera. Called in the constructor. Huh, okay. Stop that. Okay, looks like sub camera then requires the data, so we need to move that down here. And then setup camera itself, we need to move these out. Or actually, hold on. I just moved this into the construction script. That'll work. over here. There we go. Construction. Okay. Now we move setup camera back into the constructor. There you go. Let's come on. Save it. What the heck? Save. Come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. So far, so good. Alright, looks like we are in the clear. There we go, that looks better. Alright, let's reopen what was previously closed. There we go, label player data. Okay. Player character, dummy, labeled. Let's look here now. Alright, so this is a bit different now. We can see here is not set. We have label player data right there. Alright, let's open up our tutorial now. Maps tutorial. Okay. Now I'm going to delete this, because it could just be caching like outdated data. Save it real quick. Save selected. Blueprints. Miscellaneous. Player data dummy. Oh, hey, that looks better. Oh, look at that. We got our square sensors. As expected. Alright, there we go. And just like that, now we have a character using a custom vest. And that custom vest being this one that currently has a bunch of weird looking sensors on them. But now, last but not least, this will be the last thing that we do in the live stream. Let's go into props and let's add in our labels. Sensors, yep, sensors. Okay, now sensor name tag. Open up the full blueprint editor. There we go. We'll go to add label. Label. Viewport. Okay. Now, with the label component here, we don't want to scale with distance. We want the pivot to be probably x0. Okay. Hidden radius. We don't want that to be hidden at all, so set that to 0, or uncheck that actually. Okay, now. Actually, yeah, hide it. Undo that. Now. Widget. Oh. Show engine content. Oh, not what? Really? Come on, show engine content. Okay, widget 3D pass through. We want translucent. None of them skip the death test. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's check which widget we want to add. So we want the this one right here, score indicators widget. So that is we're indicating. Use that one for now. So we drag this and we drop it right there. Okay. It doesn't show up right now because it's set up to spawn in when we start playing. Okay. So of course, let's just click play actually. Oh, we got an error. Okay, let's see what error we got. Default player global data is not writable. Okay. Might have messed something up here. Blueprint read right. That's right, because we want to have that be writable. Is like a sort of override. Okay, so let me close out of this and we'll relaunch it. Okay, starting up. Okay. Oh, look at that. Take a look at the viewport here. What's going on? Oh. Hey, that looks interesting. Okay, okay. Yeah, very interesting. No, wait, that's the old one. Sorry about that. We don't care about the old one. All right. Apps. Tutorial. Okay, there's our little dummy there. Yeah, that's the right one. Compile. Okay, looks good. All right, let's click play. There we go. Oh, hold on. Apparently this wall didn't get raised again. Raise. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got a... that looked weird. Oh, we got some glitching sensors here. That real quick. Delete these rogue sensors. Save. Okay, now I think we need to do a little bit more setup. See here. Miscellaneous. Let's go into props. Stores. A sensor name tag here. All right. So we have the label component. Okay. You need to get the widget. Get the widget. Okay, so of course it's per player, so we need to do a for each loop. We need to do what, like values. There we go. We don't care about the keys. Now we do a for each loop. Put into event tick here. For each. So we're going to cast these. Cast to Score. Okay, what type of object are we? Widget component object reference. Okay, we need to not do that. We need to get the get widget. Yep, there we go. No, not again. Come on, AMD Fidelity effects. Just ignore. Come on. Ugh. What the heck? It crashed again. Okay, back to what we were doing before. Actually, no, let's not do it that way. Let's do it a different way. Okay. Watch. So I'll delete that. Go into props. Let's go into actually no miscellaneous. New folder. Labels. Boom. Alright, now. New blueprint class. Let's do label component. Yep, there we go. Alright, now, or, no, let's just do test label. Boom. Now, with this, instead, what we're going to do is we're going to override the tick widget function. Click compile. There we go. Now we have target component, widget component object reference. We can get the component for that. Get the get widget for that. Class settings, defaults, my bad. User widget, we want this to be the score indicating widget. And then let's open that up so you can see how that works on the inside. Okay, pretty simple. Not sure I have a canvas panel there. We don't need that. Hold on. And then paste. There we go. Alright, there's our nice little widget. So we have two values, sensor name and point value. Okay, we just need to set those. So we get the widget, we cast this to score indicating. There we go. Do the pure cast because it's most that type. Now we just have AMD Fidelity FX crash on us again. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna something with my screen here. Is he using limited? No, don't use limited. Okay. Alright, back to here. Now, get component. Get widget. Get widget, there we go. Cast to indicating, score indicating. Here we go. Convert to peer cast. Now, set. Which ones are we setting? What's our name? That sensor name to test. At the point value, let's set to 9001. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Okay, well, with that, I think this just keeps crashing for whatever reason. It's getting annoying and I can't stop it. So I think we're going to wrap up the live stream here. Up that, there we go. Okay, so with that, a little brief overview of what is to come in the future. So as I mentioned, split screen support is something that we're going to be working on. But closer in the future, dedicated server support, hopefully within the update after next. Customization, being able to set your player colors and whatnot. And then more of the immediate side, all those little bugs and issues in that you saw with the name tags not showing up and the player movement, we're looking into those very extensively. So for the latest updates and latest changes, be sure to check out the social media links, all currently shown on the stream. So I'll switch over to the end screen here. There we go. You can see the little what would be the webcam. It's the other screen though. Anyways, be sure to follow us on Discord for the latest updates, and please, by all means, share your score, whatever high you get when testing out the game, whether it's against the AI or in the single player challenge. And please give us feedback for whenever you play test the game and whatnot. We want to definitely hear that and tell us what you think, and be sure to report any sort of bugs and issues, because without your support, Project Laser Tag or the laser games is, you know, it's really going to be based off of the strong player base support. So yeah, and perhaps stay tuned for next weekend when we might be doing a larger playtest session with more people. I don't know, we'll see. Be sure to stay up to date on the social media Discord for that, and with that, I'll see you next time. So bye, thanks for watching. Position and goodbye.